A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit.
A fly green gunman, the police them kill. The 3 gunman them the police them kill. The fly green and got be crown evidence against a film gunman them there. And he was so upset, said the police them kill him. So him end up got be crown evidence against the police force. And now walk and kill people in the innocent for them a batty boy. Them are so good boy, them have so good to keep up to the power where them have. And una walk and kill innocent people. And yet still at them say man go prison and dirty blood clot. Cause them know them a go down and them a carry down someone with them, you know. Una police boy and soldier we down there kill people innocent pitney. When they need to look on themselves. Because the same MP and member of parliament was son go kill the youth them. After them give them the gun and them can't control them son go kill them. A fly green and go be crown evidence against Uno. So watch and see what happen to Uno police boy we kill them 3 gunmen with fly green. Mr. Probably fly green boyfriend them too. Probably one of them a fuck fly green 9 mouth and 9 batty wall.
Breaking news, people. Squash in a prison, I call up one bag of name, and him call a politician name, say, a them give visa. The politician them can get visa. A Babs the Green, you know? Babs the Green, and you must squash get visa, and they involved in a whole heap of things, Babs the Green. So your name are run up in the cell next to Babs the Green. Hey.
Different scandals. Same minister, same themes, overpricing, conflicts of interest, weak documentation, and a refusal to answer straight questions. Add to all of this, the $31 million neurosurgical drill, a Medtronic EM800 procured for the Bustamante Hospital for Children, where I would have pointed out at the time that comparable drills are listed internationally at around $3 to $5 million. The Southeast Regional Health Authority, SERA, approved the $31 million purchase, and court filings later showed that the ministry itself was the importer, saving that company millions of dollars in duty. Yet, that role was never clearly disclosed in public statements. Toxic fumes forced the closure of key areas of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. 9 years later, rehabilitation works remain incomplete with ballooning costs and repeated missed deadlines. This is a symbol of chronic mismanagement and a failure to deliver. $24 billion later, after an initial estimate of $2 billion, we are still without a functioning Cornwall Regional Hospital, a hospital where up to recently, doctors and nurses have staged protests about their working conditions. Contracts were being taken away from existing providers and given to Archer's Funeral Home for the storage of bodies outside of the Kingston and St. Andrew region. Taking bodies from KPH and storing them in Spanish Town at the funeral home owned by a JLP councillor in the Minister of Health's constituency did not sit well with the Jamaican public. This prompted allegations of political favoritism that the minister has repeatedly denied. Blue Zone, a company that is owned by the Minister of Health, imported rice that was found to be below the standard grading of the Bureau of Standards. Yet, the National Compliance and Regulatory Authority cleared it the same day. The brief that we have looked at notes a serious conflict of interest and regulatory leniency. No one can explain to this day why a rice would be exempted from the usual scrutiny that other importers face. To this day, nobody has given a satisfactory explanation as to rice labeled by the Bureau of Standards Jamaica as not meeting the classification and the standards it set out was taken off the ports and distributed to an unsuspecting public. Jamaica Moves campaign came under scrutiny by the Integrity Commission. The IC found procurement breaches in 15 contracts worth $78.6 million, all awarded using direct contracting. And they concluded that the minister's role created a perceived advancement of private interest for Market Me Consulting. Neonatal deaths at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital have continued to embarrass the Ministry of Health. In 2022, 11 babies died in a Klebsiella outbreak, followed by 24 newborn deaths in 24 days in 2025. The minister repeatedly avoided directly answering in Parliament when asked when he first knew about the deaths in 2022. And in 2025, it was just dismissed as babies being premature. Despite the multiple reports across Jamaica, reports that still haunt many to this day, that oxygen ran out, the Ministry of Health has refused to accept responsibility for not ordering enough oxygen from the suppliers. Now, in 2026, the Auditor General finds that at the University Hospital of the West Indies, under the ministry's watch, 51 contracts worth $500 million have no procurement records, and that the hospital's tax-exempt status was misused to import goods for private entities. Different scandals, same minister, same themes, overpricing, conflicts of interest, weak documentation, and a refusal to answer straight.
Ordinary Jamaicans suffer. So it is important for the people at the University Hospital, including the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, to tell the people of Jamaica how many dialysis machines were imported by the University Hospital just about 2 years ago. Dialysis machines that were purportedly imported by the University Hospital of the West Indies. I have some new information. So apparently, these machines were imported by the University Hospital of the West Indies, ostensibly so, but they were not imported by the University Hospital of the West Indies. Sounds confusing? It's because something went down. According to the Auditor General, the University Hospital's tax-exempt status was abused, corruptly used to bring into the island dialysis machines and other stuff. Yes. And a private medical facility is using those facilities or was party to the abuse of the UHWI's tax-exempt status. And now we're learning that it's not 10 dialysis machines that were brought in. It was 12. 12. Yeah. And we're also learning, yeah, that other items were brought in, and the duty that should have been paid if they had done it legally should have been $11 million. They end up paying $1.1 million and denied the Treasury $10 million. So it's a case now where I gather it's now the subject of a criminal investigation by CTOC. Yeah, I gather CTOC, the Organized Crime Investigation Division, is involved now, because apparently the 12 dialysis machines are at a private medical facility somewhere in St. Andrew.
Is the government in discussions with our creditors to discuss provisions within those loan facilities that if there is a disaster, that it would defer whether principal or interest payments? I know other countries like Barbados have done this.
That clause already exists, and in new debt going forward, we will ensure, we've indicated already that we would like those kinds of clauses to continue in those instruments.
To the best of my knowledge, we don't have them in our agreements at this time. It's something that has come up, but basically what those clauses do is delay the payments for maybe a 2-year period, but you then need to.
You ultimately have to pay back the money, but it gives you.
And in many instances, you know, we call them misinformation and disinformation. Those are fancy words for lies. And so where there are lies, we will be correcting them. And there have been many of those. And I know Minister Morgan will be working very closely with me in relation to addressing that issue of lies that are proliferating.
Unlicensed operators engaged in water sports in tourist hotspots are this evening under scrutiny after a Canadian tourist drowned in Negril on Tuesday. As Alia Bryant now reports, persons who frequent the beach believe the incident could have been avoided.
What was supposed to be a fun day on the water quickly turned into tragedy after an unlicensed boat operator took 2 male tourists out to sea in rough and dangerous conditions. While licensed operators had already pulled their boats ashore and cancelled all activities, the small vessel still went out. As it sailed on the choppy waters, the boat was struck by a powerful wave and capsized.
No life vests, rough seas, and the boat still went out. Here at a popular resort in Negril, what happened to be a routine sea trip turned deadly in minutes when one man did not make it back.
A JDF-trained lifeguard who observed what was happening rushed into action.
And I'm looking and I say, oh, no, man, something wrong. Then same time when I look, I see somebody wave. I mean, shoot off my kayak in the water and I approach the boat, which is the boat was docking right out there, where you see that blue kayak. So when I was right there, a wave come over, box me, still move to it. When I look, I see have the next tourist. I say, hold him up out of the water in St. John. But when we did the lifeguard, they always tell me, if we make sure, say, we check, look, observe, and check. We check his sport. We say, yo, he gone. Anyway, me get the next one out of the water. Me get the captain was the last somebody come on the boat.
The deceased has been identified as Jean E. Damore, a Canadian national who had been vacationing at a nearby all-inclusive resort. Licensed operators pointed to the must-haves venturing out to sea. In addition to safety gear, they explained a trained lifeguard must be on board the vessel.
I see a lot of men, them alone, I drive them boat. And I'm an operator, and they have like 6, 7, 8 tourists by themselves. Them by themselves, I drive. And then, as I say, if you follow the government set up certain things in place, for example, lifeguard. If you do lifeguard course, you would know, say, a boat should not operate without any lifeguard. Because they teach that in seminar. But I don't know, for some reason, I see them out there all the time. A lot of them.
This is nowhere I will take the tourists into the rough sea. I need the money, but I will never do that. You understand?
They also raised concerns about visitors who ignore warnings and take unnecessary risks, chasing a thrill instead of heeding rough sea advisories.
They're very stubborn, so what I'm trying to do is that to sink it more inside their head, that to know that this is not a plaything, you know, and it can be very dangerous.
They're urging tourists to use only licensed operators and to respect safety advisories before another day at the beach ends in tragedy.
Reporting from the rescue boat, I'm Aliyah Bryant for TVJ News.
In the meantime, the police say the captain of the ill-fated boat will be charged.
Right, there's a process in getting these kind of activities regularized, and you know, you have to obtain a JTB license to operate any form of tourism enterprise. And these people who operate these enterprises know of the process. So I am just using this medium now to advise persons not to engage in these type of activities without getting the appropriate licenses.
My wisdom warriors, I yes me and left it. Wanna tell me what you think, wanna tell me how you feel about this, and put an honest opinion in the comment section. Like up the video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome and big up on a nice clean self. One love.
Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it a go stop, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National.
You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.